Welcome back to Bible Corner, your space for peace, truth, and the Word of God. I'm so glad you're here today, whether you're listening in the morning, evening, or somewhere in between. Get comfortable, open your heart, and let's grow together. Today, we're continuing our journey through Genesis chapter 1, focusing on verses 21 to 30. Let's take it step by step, reading each verse and then reflecting on what it means for us today. Genesis 1 verse 21 says, "So God created great creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems and that moves about in it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good." Pause for a moment. Think about that. Everything in the sea, every bird in the sky, created with intention and design. Let me ask you, when you look at nature, do you see randomness or do you see purpose? God saw his creation and called it good. That means there is value in everything he made, and that includes you. Genesis 1 verse 22 says, "God blessed them and said, 'Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth.'" God didn't just create life, he blessed it. Here's something to reflect on. Are you walking in the blessings God has spoken over your life, or are you doubting what God has already declared? Genesis 1 verse 23 says, "And there was evening and there was morning, the fifth day." This reminds us that God works in order and in timing. Every day of creation had purpose. Think about your life. Do you trust God's timing, even when things don't happen when you expect them to? Genesis 1 verse 24 says, "And God said, 'Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind.' And it was so." Again, we see God speaking and things come into existence. Let me ask you this. What are you speaking over your life? Are your words building faith or feeding doubt? Genesis 1 verse 25 says, "God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good." Everything God creates has order and identity. Now reflect on this. Do you know who you are in God, or are you letting the world define your identity? Genesis 1 verse 26 says, "Then God said, 'Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky.'" This is powerful. You were made in God's image. Take a moment and really think about that. You carry his reflection, his character, his authority. So let me ask you, are you living like someone who was created in God's image, or are you settling for less than who God called you to be? Genesis 1 verse 27 says, "So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them." You are not here by accident. You are intentional. Think about this deeply. How would your life change if you truly believed you were created in God's image? Genesis 1 verse 28 says, "God blessed them and said to them, 'Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it.'" God gave humanity responsibility and authority. Here's a question for you. Are you taking responsibility for what God has placed in your hands, your life, your choices, your purpose? Genesis 1 verse 29 says, "Then God said, 'I give you every seed-bearing plant. They will be yours for food.'" God is a provider. He already made provision before there was even a need. So reflect on this. Do you trust God to provide for you, even in seasons where things feel uncertain? Genesis 1 verse 30 says, "And to all the beasts of the earth I give every green plant for food," and it was so. God's provision extends to all creation. Let that sink in. If God takes care of everything He created, how much more will He take care of you? As we reflect on these verses, remember this: you were created with purpose, filled with potential, and made in the image of God. There is intention behind your existence. Walk in that truth today. Before you go, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this message with someone who needs encouragement today. Thank you for spending this time with me on Bible Corner. Stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next episode.